Welcome race fans to Blue Moon Bay Paddock, and it's time for the start of the GT4 World Challenge for season 3.3 here at the Deviant Racing League. My name is Webbo, really happy to be here with you. I have a throat lozenge to try and get me through this race, so if you hear it, I do apologise, but it's been a busy old weekend for me. Hopefully my voice is going to hold out, and that's we don't have too many massive accidents today. It's qualifying for a 10-minute session here today, and we will get you all the information that you need to get on with our excellent racing. So the drivers wanting to make a really good start here to the season. I'll just talk you through the challengers, runners and riders here. Team Special K will be driving the Ferrari 458 Italia here in GT4, and they will be driven by Arcane and Dr. Sparkle. TX Speedstars, new demotion here with Hyphy Honda, very quick driver. They will appropriately follow access for Team Brando. Team Puma will also be in the Porsche here, in the Porsche Cayman, driven by Lowry and Kuros Kai. We'll have Team Zin in the old-style Alfa Romeo 155. They'll be driven by Thrasher, who moves across from the Scuderia this season for Lalo Kills. Huge Star will be in the Team Coca-Cola, driving the McLaren 650S with Parsifal. Then in the Team Spotify, Huracan will be Rutez and Saito. The final team is Team Mountain Dew in the Nissan GTR, the absolute beast Nissan GTR, driven by Sully and Golden Oracle. Chaotica will be, I believe, our safety car driver, certainly nominated for the season anyway. Let's just double check that one for you. Yes, indeed, Chaotica will be our safety car driver, and he's going to do it in an SRT and not, I don't think, in a safety car livery. Unless that just hasn't happened to come through for us this time. Now, TX Speedstars will obviously be wanting to make a good statement here, coming down to the GT3, from the GT3 challenge. And if I know my NFL teams well enough, I think that's the Tennessee Titans livery in recognition of what is, of course, the start of the NFL season. We'll join him as he starts his flying lap here. Out front, out at the lead and the head of the race, and he sets up 1 minute 12.6 for his outlap. But this really is the lap to attack, as Arcane beat him there on that first lap. But let's see what he can do. I think that might have actually been a representative time there for TX Speedstars. Arcane beating him only by 2/200th of a second. Now he's going faster still. Tends to be the second flying lap the drivers set here, where they will hopefully be able to really maximise the speed. Purple first sector on the second flyer there for Speedstars, with Larry and Rue setting third and fourth. Later Kills and Kuros Kai fifth and sixth, and Dr. Sparkle ahead of Golden Oracle for the top 8. Arcane though leading. It looks like TX Speedstars is going to take that top spot again. If you can just make the exit of this one work. We had a 50 lap race for the 1 hour coverage for the GT3s. Obviously it will be fewer laps than that here for the GT4s, but they still have to use the hard and medium tyre during the race. Speedstars didn't get the best out of that lap, and neither did Arcane. It was the final sector of the second lap that didn't work out for him. Larry set a personal best, but it didn't improve his position. Rue's coming across the line now and back into the pit lane. We've got Lalo Kills in 5th place, trying to get a tow from the McLaren 650S in front of him. And let's see if he can get a better time. No, it was 0.05 of a second slower. Kuros Kai following the plane on its way down to land. And that's another personal best sector, but Kuros Kai no improvement. Sully up to 5th, though good lap from Sully. And that's the GTR for Mountain Dew. Then we have Sparkle, Dr. Sparkle in 8th, Golden Oracle in 9th at this stage, with Billy Bob in 11th, Thrasher down in 12th. Let's see if Thrasher can improve this time out. He's on his 4th lap right now. Getting down in. Nice to see Jim, nice to see Floody into the live chat. Chat amongst yourselves or ask a question. That's all cool by me. And if you are watching and haven't said hello yet, please do so, and we'll give you a shout out. Great to have you here live with us. And it's also great if you watch back afterwards, leave a comment or a like, and it's very much appreciated. Subscriptions are also absolutely taken. As Glover says, we out here. I'm going to need an explanation on that one, Glover. Yeah, difficult for me because the Chevrolets that Glover was driving were not in their proper livery on my screens anyway, and sometimes that works out that way. But we've got plenty of football being, as Cam says, victory lap. So Arcane leads us at the moment, and we've got TX Speedstars back out on track, trying to set his next flying lap. Join him on board. We've got 4 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Thrasher just set a new personal best. Doesn't feature in the top 8 still. It did seem like qualifying was not all that essential, as Cam managed to perform fantastically, gaining 7 positions in the GT3 challenge, and hopefully you will see, as Cam says, Arcane on top. Damn. Well, I don't know if that's praise or surprise. Kind of damning with faint praise, but potentially. Here comes TX Speedstars to cross the line. That one, no better from him. 120.5, significantly slower laps here for the GT4s. Lowry crosses the line earlier on. He's behind the Lamborghini Huracan. It's currently in P4. That's Rue. Now take off that our names display. It's not always fun. I would say it takes you out of the immersion, but now that motorsport, trackside motorsport is starting to put names hovering above cars, it's starting to come towards the sim racing aspect of things. Larry's in third at the moment, didn't go any faster that time through. Looks like Rue in P4. I think Arcane Rue going to be pleased to be in a new car after a difficult previous season here. Of course, drivers will be fighting for promotion prospects come the end of the season out of the GT4 World Challenge, and I'm sure TX Speedstar's very keen to get back in there. Rue is in a great position on track here with the car in front, able to give him a really good tow. That's the Alfa Romeo, and that's the new Shape 4C, I believe. We also have a 155 on the circuit, and that is Rue looking to try and do his qualifying lap here, but unfortunately that's costing both of them time and really messing up the two of them in their track positioning, one or the other. Certainly both will regret that one. Thrasher's in 5th, has moved up inside the top 8 now, in 5th place, and we are closing out the final laps here. Thrasher in 5th gear down the main straight. Will this be an improvement for him? Looks like he's got a good tow. It's not an improvement, it's 1.3 seconds worse than it's been before. Let's find out what TX Speedstars can do in this current sector. I think that was the 155 Alpha in front in the red livery. Get a good look at our liveries during the race as well, particularly in the safety car lap. It's my favourite time to do that. This is TX Speedstars. He's driving the Honda NSX. Nice sounding Honda. And it's purple second sector for TX Speedstars. One real corner is all you really have to do in the final sector of the race on the racetrack. Here comes TX Speedstars. Will this be an improvement to pole position? Oh, it is an improvement, but he's still not quite made it. 16 thousandths of a second separate P1 and P2 on our grid. How is Arcane doing here? Well, he's just getting back up, off and onto the apron here. Glover saying Billy Bob supremacy. Matthew Glover saying he was in the Titans livery. Unfortunately, yeah, didn't show on my screen. I'm sorry. I did get several of the liveries. How is TX doing at the moment? Zimbra says let's go. Yeah. and good to have Camilo Gutierrez with us as well. Let's see as he closes out the second sector. Has TX Speedstars managed to find any more speed on these soft tyres? Yes, indeed he has, by 0.2 of a second. This now with a double toe in front of him should be nailed on for a provisional pole position. This is the final lap and he's going to do it at the death with Arcane in the pits. Can he maximise it and get the pole position for TX Speedstar? We will see as he tries to follow those cars in front. He had a 2/10 advantage and he's lost it by 0.007 in the final sector. Must have been an absolutely mighty sector there for Arcane, that final sector, and it will finish Arcane, Speedstars and Larry at the moment at least. And Larry is not going faster enough. Oh, it's a Roux pole position in the death as Roux grabs it by nearly 0.2 of a second right at the end from down in 5th place. Roux on pole then from Arcane, and TX Speedstars with Larry and Arsaito. Sully unable to get higher than 6th. Thrasher, Lalo kills, Golden Oracle, Kuros Kai, Dr. Sparkle, Billy Bob, Chaotica is out and in the safety car now, and it is the Charger Hellcat SRT, and he has got the livery on with the lights. So brilliant stuff for Roux. What a finish for Roux, and we'll just show you the results then in the final times. It's a 1:12.444 for Roux. And a great one in the Lamborghini Huracan in a different livery that I can't quite make out. We've got Arcane in the 458 Italia, then the TX Speedstars in the Honda from Larry in the Cayman. We have Arsaito in the Huracan with Sully in the GTR in P6. Thrasher has the 4C into 7th. Lalo kills the 155 into 8th. The two Alfa Romeos showing differently. Then we've got Golden Oracle in the GTR, Kuros Kai, and we have Dr. Sparkle. Billy Bob will finish this out with 12 starters. We are expecting a bigger field in the latter part of the season. Plenty of cool liveries for you to enjoy as well, and we'll be trackside for you for the start of the race coming up. Let me have your podium predictions if you're watching with us live, and we will hold you to those predictions at the end of the race. I'll give you one chance maybe to revisit them, maybe at the safety car lap, which will be lap 24. So the drivers not allowed to pit on lap 23 to 24, the gap there. Preston says 6th and 9th, not bad for Team Mountain Dew. The liveries are coming next week. Good, okay. And Glover saying, I need a redo win like I need oxygen. Excellent stuff. Keep the banter coming. We love to hear it. And especially if you can go trash talk. Preston first then. Rudy Larry Sully is his prediction. And he's nailed his colours to the mast, which we love to see. Let's wait then for the race. And we will have for you 60 minutes of racing at night around Blue Moon Bay. The first time that Deviant Racing League has raced the World Challenge here at Blue Moon Bay. Got a short break now while the drivers just get themselves ready. And just a few seconds to go. As Zen said, I spin myself right round, baby. Right round. Let's get trackside, folks, for the start of the new season here in the GT4 World Challenge. It's time to get going. You can see the safety car lights at the tail of the field. He will go round and back into the grid, but it's 5 lights on. The crowd are ready to go, and it's time to drop the clutch and go for the GT3 season. And a great start from 4th position for Larry, already up to 3rd place and challenging here for 2nd potentially. Roux trying to own the middle of the circuit, but down the inside is attempting Larry into turn 1. Larry's going to go from 4th. Will he make it all the way to the exit and be in the lead here? He's got the next inside line for the next corner. Larry trying to steal the march here as the Tennessee Titans liveried Arcane tries to sweep down the inside. Roux dropped down to 3rd position, but it is Larry on top. Larry from the start here, who's managed to gain 2 positions. Roux trying to bring that Huracan back to the second position at least, and he's nibbling away at the diffuser on the back of our new leader Larry. Roux is back into second position, and it is an absolute melee behind them. Let's check out what went down between the drivers as they head into the hairpin. It's super busy into the hairpin for our podium contenders at the moment, and they're all sort of working themselves out, and they come out 3 abreast out of the hairpin. Great to see. But we have Larry in the lead by just 0.08 of a second, side by side. Down the main straight they go. Roux is right with him and trying to get his lead back in the Huracan. And Larry leading us away with a 122.3. Tries to hold that outside line. Will try and sweep down to the inside, but Roux takes the lead once again. Roux back into the lead of the race for car 63. In the Lamborghini, just hits the rear quarter panel on the concrete barrier. That's going to do it no favours at all, but he avoids a little bit of damage there. And a fastest first sector for Roux, using the benefit of that slipstream. So back into the lead. Panic stations aborted. Roux back on top. He's on the medium tyres. So is Larry. TX Speedstars has the hard tyres on the Tennessee Titans livery car. And driving beautifully at this stage in the Honda NSX. TX Speedstars in P3 with Arcane in P4. We've got Saito into 5th at the moment. Golden Oracle up to 6th with Kuros Kai in 7th. On the kind of default Porsche livery, the Alfa Romeo 155 looking like a mean old machine there with its square profiles in the Texans livery. We'll have a closer look at that later. Thrasher moving away from the Scuderia Ferrari, just across the country to the Alfa Romeo factory in the 4C in 9th. Billy Bob's in 10th. Then comes Sully and Dr. Sparkle. But at the lead of our field, Roux has managed to get his pace organised, get back off that poor start. He's back on the 1.5 second of a lead from Larry, and TX Speedstars trying to hold off the advancing Arcane. Close behind, it's the Honda NSX for Speedstars. His teammate will be Hyphy Honda, driving the appropriate car for his name, which is a lot more comfortable for me than last year. The TX Speedstars, I should say last season, not last year. TX Speedstars holding on to 3rd at the moment, ahead of Arcane. And these guys looking to try and generate some rhythm now. We've got the Tennessee Titans, we've got the Texans represented so far. I've managed to see. Do we have any other football liveries at this stage? What I need, even if you're doing a special livery, is to have your title sponsor somewhere so that I can start really associating the teams properly for this new season. Our Saito has dropped back a little bit from the top 4 battle here, and there's a personal best lap time from Arcane on this lap 4. Trying to get down the inside is Arcane. Doesn't work. Zen says Roux's livery didn't load. Yeah, it keeps happening, doesn't it? It's unusual to have a lobby with everybody's livery in perfect order. 5 minutes gone, 4 minutes gone, and that's a big wild moment there for TX Speedstars. He goes out onto the grass, and we should probably have another look at that too. Here he goes to turn right through turn 4, just overcooks it slightly. There he is, out wide on the grass and well avoided, frankly, by Arcane, who gets back into that 3rd position. And we go Titans versus Texans once again. Arcane up to 3rd. Roux hanging on from Larry. Titans winning the Super Bowl, says Glovas. I think that's a pretty bold prediction, no? Did they get the first round pick in the draw or something? Is that what happened? Here is TX Speedstars getting tucked right up behind Arcane. Having a look down the inside line. And TX Speedstars forced to make his own arrangements on the high line there on the outside. And losing the battle with the grip on the outside line. But looking good for Arcane, for Larry, for Roux at the moment. On those provisional podium positions. Our Saito is being dropped on the medium tyre And then we've got a nice tight battle. We've got Lalo Kills in the 155, the GTR behind him. That's a bit of light flashing happening there in Alfa Romeo as he does exactly what we saw earlier, takes to the grass. Yeah, we've got another car representing the Texans, but behind him we've got Golden Oracle in the non-golden GTR, and I think he's about to lose a position to Thrasher, who comes around the outside, does he? So Golden Oracle, Thrasher, tight on. No, it was Kuros Kai who made his way through in the Cayman. Looks like a default livery for the Cayman, unfortunately for Kuros Kai. Let's get a closer, well, I'll look at the liveries in a little while, but there's the Texans. Slightly different to the other Texans livery we've got on the grid. There's Golden Oracle at the rear of this battle for 6th place. Golden Oracle out in 8th place right now. Thrasher a little further back, and he's got Sully right behind him. It looks like Thrasher's livery hasn't come through either, unfortunately, and I think that's the Seahawks for Sully. Certainly similar colour scheme. It is the Seahawks, hey. How about that? We'll be hoping that the 12th man brings his team some luck. Billy Bob out there in the uniquely liveried green and yellow. I think that's the Mountain Dew team with Dr. Sparkle out in 12th place. Chaotica waits in the pits for lap 23, which obviously will happen later into the race than it did for the GT3s. There we have the Ferrari driven by Dr. Sparkle, and at the front of the field, Rue leads by 1.6 seconds, and then Glover's shame that Billy Bob is Sprite Team Coke. Well, if it's Coke, it should be Coke, not Sprite. Zen tells me safety car is lap 15. Thank you, Zen. I didn't get that announcement today, unfortunately. Usually Anatol's the one that gives me all the information. Glover's the same company. How on earth am I supposed to associate those? I got all the confectionery last year. There he is, Anatol, safety car 15. Thank you very much. Yeah, just saying, it is hard to see the liveries at night, for sure. I think we needed an extra run just in the an hour of daylight, perhaps, simulated, so we could just take in those liveries to start with. So Larry now 2 seconds behind Rue, but 2 seconds clear of Arcane. TX Speedstars in P4. Cam says, put the exposure up to max. I don't like doing that, Cam. I like the atmospherics of peering into the darkness. It's a night race for the reason of the night race, surely. And Spotify sponsored Lamborghini with a Dark Side of the Moon Pink Floyd bonnet, which wasn't, I don't think, on the Spotify team cars in GT3. So there's a slightly special livery there with the rainbow stripe as well. Just to see livery, okay. That's a good one. So Chaotica saying I need to refuel, do I? Okay, sorry. It's our side 2 in 5th place, and we've got Lalo Kills in 6th, Kuros Kai in 7th, and Golden Oracle out there in 8th place still. Here comes TX Speedstars, just 0.3 of a second away from Arcane to get that 3rd place back. I wonder, you know, if putting the football liveries on is just adding to the sense of rivalry between the drivers. Very keen to make the move here. He takes the low side on the main straight. Has he got the top speed here in the NSX? It's maybe half a kilometre an hour in it. He's got the inside line, but we've seen that inside line really throws them off, and it looks like certainly Arcane going outside to inside. He's now got the inside line through here. Oh, so close between the two of them, and he tries to hold on to the inside into the hairpin, cuts the grass hugely, does Arcane to hang on. And doing everything in his power to stay ahead. These two continuing to battle down to turn 6. There go, TX Speedstars trying to get that apex. No cigar at the moment. Was that Arcane? Super sideways coming out of the hairpin. Let's just check that one out, shall we? Let's ride with Arcane as we go down into the apex. Stick the power down. Woo! Yeah! We like a bit of sideways action, don't we? That's fantastic to see. This is TX Speedstars sitting in his passenger seat and try and find a way through now. But Arcane hanging on there on the medium tyres. But TX Speedstars being patient at the moment, patient enough anyway to try and make this move work out for him later on. Can't see P5 behind him, so eyes fully focused forward for the Honda NSX. It's got his name on his rear window, isn't it? TX Speedstars. I'm not reading that, Glovas. I can't. I'm far too old to read words like that. No doubt. So we've got TX Speedstars. We've got Arcane missing the apex, but managing to get the exit out of the hairpin this time. He's certainly on the ragged edges, Arcane, hanging on these medium tyres. I think both cars probably going a little bit slower now as a result of this battle. And that is someone clattering the wall. Sparks go flying right by those penalty marker boards. Didn't see many penalties. I don't even remember a single penalty in the GT3. We've relaxed the wall riding rules and all other rules, it seems, by the abuse some of these apexes are receiving from the drivers. Down to the inside goes TX Speedstars. That was a late one. Little side swipe as well down the main straight. I think there's a little bit of beef generated between the two. Yeah, that was definitely a little bit of contact, but hopefully no hard feelings too much as they're coming up to lap one of the cars, I think, in front. No, that is Larry who's made a mistake. Now let's see what happened to Larry. I thought they were coming up to lap straight away, but here is Larry. He'd already lost some time, I think, and oh, he's got some damage on the car. Front splitter, front right tyre. He's definitely got damage, and that's why he was suddenly slow. So potentially, it looks like front right, that could well be contact with the barrier. And now we're getting really tight here between TX Speedstars and Arcane again. They are 9 seconds away from the leaders. Arcane smashes into the barrier on the exit of turn 9 into 10. Arcane has avoided damage. Larry's damage has sorted itself out. He can drive around that. So thankfully not too dangerous for him, and he's managed to get some speed back. But certainly a three-way battle now for second position here. Down the inside line, tries the Honda NSX of Speedstars. It looked like that really worked for him as well. Trying to hog that inside through turn 3. But the faster line, of course, is the wider entry into turn 4 on the right-hander. And Speedstars now turning into attack towards Larry's second place. Gap to the leader out to 10 seconds as another plane takes off in the nearby airport. Another sideways moment, this time from TX Speedstars out of the hairpin, just running over our camera position and looking fantastic. So they're running 1.4 seconds slower than their best through to the second sector only. Here comes TX Speedstars then. Needs a little bit of slipstream. He's gone to the high line on the outside here. He's forcing the Porsche to the inside. Will he be able to get the overlap? It looks like he's suffering for top speed. Going to try and sweep out from the outside, take a really late apex, get down on the power as soon as possible, and get underneath the Porsche, and does so. Great manoeuvre from TX Speedstars, now back up to second position and looking great out there on the hard tyre. Looks like the mediums on board Larry and on board Arcane are starting to fade. Roux also on the mediums, but he's got a really healthy lead at this stage of the race. Of course, that lead will evaporate thanks to the safety car lap coming up in 2 laps' time. So, have to avoid that. Where is my boy Billy Bob, says Clavas. I'll tell you when these guys stop fighting for just a moment. Let's see, Billy Bob in 12th position, 50.8 seconds away, and trying to avoid getting lapped before the safety car comes out. I'm losing track of time. It is flying by here in the race. And Roux, TX Speedstars, now ahead of Larry and Arcane. And into the pits comes, I think that was Arcane. Indeed it was. So the last opportunity to pit here for the medium runners before the safety car lap will bring the cars together. We've got 43.5 minutes to go. So a fairly early safety car, I have to say. Drivers running on through. Roux ahead of TX Speedstars. Now Larry in 3rd. Saito back out of the pits again and back out into P4. Looking really good. Sorry, that's my mistake. Saito has not pitted yet. It's actually Arcane is down into 8th place as he comes out of the pits. Loses out a position to Dr. Sparkle just on that pit exit. And Billy Bob, Curious Kai also into the pits. So is Golden Oracle. Chaotica on his way out now. And looking to make sure he avoids the white line on exit. And is working very hard to do that. Almost gets hit on for his troubles there. And here they go then on the slowdown lap for our drivers. And this lap with the safety car out, that means that no further battling is allowed anywhere on the grid. And here then is Roux. Well, no livery on Roux' car for the 63. TX Speedstars we've seen plenty of in the Titans livery. We've got an Australian flag for Larry. I don't know if Larry is Australian, but certainly waves a. I think is this Mountain Dew colour scheme? Get this right. Larry is in the Team Puma Porsche Cayman, so not going for that. Then we've got the Spotify Huracan with the Dark Side of the Moon for Saito. And then, yeah, this one really does look something special, I have to agree. This is the Texans livery for the old shape Alfa Romeo 155. Love it, love to see this car back on the grid as well for the GT3s, but we'll try and get you a nice brighter lit version of this livery here. Have to wait to come round onto the main straight, but it's like a metallic red, almost camouflage style matte sticker wrap on it as well. Let's get a really good look, shall we, as we come up round here and onto the main straight. Safety car is out. Roux and Lowry pitting now. Looks like the same situation for Lolo Kills will be happening, and into the pits comes Lolo Kills, just when we wanted to see. We've got the Seahawks livery for car 53, Sully. He's driving the GTR. And a default livery, unfortunately, for Thrasher right now in the 4C. Into the pits comes Dr. Sparkle, Arcane, another Tennessee Titans livery. Go. TX Speedstars had engine failure for TX Speedstars. We've lost a car from the grid. That is a big shame for him. Unfortunately, we won't see him anymore in this race, but he certainly put on a great show for us up to that point, as Arcane is out in first position with all those pit stops having taken place. Still hasn't actually caught the safety car yet. He's got the Huracan driven by Roux without the Spotify stickers on yet, in that second position. So can anyone help me with Larry's Aussie flag situation on the bonnet? Give me some information on that. But yeah, TX with a mechanical, unfortunately, and out of the race, but certainly he's got plenty of pace, so we'll see him bounce back the next race that we go out to. God, saying you moved from Australia to the USA. Can you not change your flag then on GT7 to show where you represent? But Larry is from down under. So good on you, mate. Here he is. Nice close up. There's a kangaroo as well on the on the rear quarter, and we'll go green flag racing once again at the start of lap 16. Once they hit the start finish line, we will go back to green flag racing with 38 minutes and 50 seconds to go. And the drivers now on the restart, building the speed, and it looks like Rue challenging down the inside and taking the lead of the race. Arcane left to make his own arrangements on the outside, with Saito getting through as well in the Lamborghini. So Saito moving through into second place, and Arcane deposed down to third. That was a difficult restart for Arcane, for sure. I don't know if he was slightly late hitting the loud pedal, but Rue leads by 1 second from our Saito, who has a 1/4 second only gap from Arcane. Then comes Lalo Kills in the tall square 155. As then our Saito back in front. Arcane knocked down to fourth, now fifth position, as Lalo Kills and Larry make their way through, and it's very, very busy. And in comes the Seahawks 53 as well of Sully, try and get in amongst that. How tall is that Alfa Romeo on the grid of Lalo Kills? That's got to be a very, very draggy car down the main straight, but certainly distinctive silhouette. And just getting underneath our Saito is Lalo Kills now. Lalo in the red Texans. It's a very, very good, appropriate livery. You can't really have the Alpha 155 in anything other than red. And unfortunately, that is contact. That's a side swipe. That's a real well-held situation there from Lalo Kills, who holds on to third position. Incredible stuff from him. Let's just check that one out again, because amazing to see. There was the contact with the Spotify Huracan as the two lines came together, and he basically just pinballed between the two rivals. The Titans car getting down the inside and retaking the position. Lalo holds on to the position he had it before the contact. Amazing stuff, as the other cars potentially managed to just feather out of the throttle so as not to gain an advantage, I want to say. Rue leads Arcane, and then Lalo Kills. Now Larry in amongst it here. It's 2x2 as they head to the left-hand at turn 9. It looks like Larry trying to close the door there, but Sully was definitely in that gap. So Sully just slightly shy or having his momentum stolen. And Rue, Arcane, Lalo Kills, Larry, and now Sully here in 5th position with Thrasher in 6th. Looks like the rearmost driver, Billy Bob, managed to avoid getting lapped, but has ended up much further back here than he'd like to be. No, he was lapped, sadly, before the safety car period. He's just pitted as well and out on new tyres and fuel. This is our Saito battling with Kuros Kai alongside him, I want to say. Yeah, Kuros Kai just getting the nod ahead in the Cayman. Nice manoeuvre from him. And it is still really, really close battling here with 35 minutes to go in our first race of the season at Blue Moon Bay. Ever for the GT4 World Challenge at Blue Moon Bay as well. Rue leads, Arcane and Lalo Kills. This, Kuros Kai in the number 4. And Dr. Sparkle showing well there on the medium tyres. Ahead of him is Sully in the Seahawks livery. This stage on the hard tyres, got plenty of fuel on board as well. And within 10.7 seconds of the outright lead of the race, sitting there in the midfield on the hard tyre. Not a particularly difficult or unpleasant place to be for Sully. It is a violent drop of the angle of the asphalt, both in and out of turn 1. And you've really got to have your wits about you, position the car perfectly. We saw in the previous race just how difficult it is if you have the tiniest amount of steering lock on as you go across that apron section. You can spin the car really, really easily. Nice and competitive here in the midfield. Thrasher leads Sully, leads Dr. Sparkle for P5, 6 and 7. Lolo Kills has taken that 155 and he's holding on to P3. Looks like Sully has got the Union Jack on the end plates of his rear wing on one side, or was that the car in front of him? He's got one side British, one side US. Can't quite get a good view of it anymore, but Sully is definitely the Stars and Stripes there. On the outside, whether there was a different flag. There is. So joint US UK, which is great to see. Couldn't be much further away there if he's a Seahawks fan from the UK. Sully in P6, fighting hard here. It looks a lot less than 7/10 at times, that gap. Under the headlights, I suppose that the camera does foreshorten the distance between the two cars. Just ahead of these two is Larry as well, our Aussie number 77, sponsored by Motul, but should be a Puma livery, still to come, I think. Lolo Kills is doing a great job on that 155. Little flash of the lights on the way out of the corner. Could be just racing on controller and clicking L3 as he goes through. Thrasher is using the wrong car, says Chaotica. Thrasher in the 4C. So he's chosen the wrong Alfa Romeo. He should be in the 155. Is that confirmed, Chaotica? That's a big shame if it's true. But Bruce's lead is 3.4 seconds. Arcane's lead over Lolo Kills is 3.4 seconds. So both on the hard tyres. Lolo Kills is on medium tyres. Anatol says yes, indeed, it should be that case. It's a shame we don't see you today, Anatol, but I know you're reserving this season. Fans of the GT4 World Challenge will know that he races under the nickname Maxwell. So hopefully we'll see you at some point in this season. It'll be a lot of fun to have you back on. Do you get free choice as a reserve driver, or do you have to take one of the elected team cars and liveries? I wonder. Thrasher in 5th, ahead of Sully in 6th, with Kuroskai right behind him in the number 4 Cayman. And things getting a little bit sideways just as we join him out of turn 7 and 8. Dr. Sparkle running in P8 at the moment. Our Saito down into P9. He was challenging right at the head of the field at the restart, but some contact has definitely affected his run at this stage. His Golden Oracle just cut to rubbing the wall. So Anatol says you get a request to use their car, so it is a team reserve situation. Once you get into it, you have to hurry to get the liveries on. Here is the Sprite liveried Billy Bob running kind of on his own here, but getting in some great experience on the racetrack and in our GT4 World Challenge, and a personal best just as we look at him as well, so building his speed throughout the session, which is great to see. Rue leads, continues to lead then Arcane from Lolo Kills, and I'm going to probably be watching the 155 as much as possible. I do like to see it. Is there a penalty, Chaotica, for using the wrong car, I wonder? Is it possible that Thrasher haven't been able to purchase the correct car in time for today's race, I wonder? Will there be a penalty for the Alfa Romeo? There's Larry in P4. We're waiting to see some more pit stops soon, but we're underneath the halfway period of the race. I did see, I think it was in the Hall of Fame, was it not, that Maxwell had just taken, Anatol Maxwell had just taken the outright lead for the most GT4 World Challenge starts of all time, only to then miss some races. Yeah, it's Anatol with 21, and it's Sully now with 21, and Kuros Kai with 21. So it'll be a three-way tie at the top of the all-time GT4 appearances for the drivers. Saito only one appearance behind him. Then it comes Hughes Jar on 17 starts, Heikki Honda on 16, Thrasher, Preston, Oracle, Cam all on 14, although of course Cam is elsewhere right now. Zimbra says, did Dr. Sparkle just move from 8th to 5th? Well, I don't know. I think, was that pit stops? And Anatol confirming he will lose that record. Seeing any real activity here, but certainly he's into 5th position at the moment, and he's got reasonable amount of tyres and fuel left to go. Still be out there for a few laps, and a personal best from Dr. Sparkle in that 5th place. Pressure out there in 6th. Still, I think it was Sully that's had a problem. Sully has dropped, has he? Oh, and there's another problem. That's our Saito off the circuit. That's the first of our penalties that I've seen for some time now. And it's our Saito losing the car and stealing it way too much apex through turn 1. And then he'll pick up a penalty. He'll have to pay that shortly. Kuros Kai moving forward. So our Saito down to 9th plus 1 second off throttle the next time round. And it's a bit early in the tyre life to be losing the car like that. Just a simple mistake rather than conditions, unfortunately for him. And there is a huge moment for Sully. Was it, or was it our Saito? I think it might have been Kuros Kai, actually. I think it was. Just off and dropping down to 9th now. Sully and our Saito getting through past Kuros Kai, thanks to an off-track moment there, and some damage picked up on Kuros Kai's car. That was our Saito on the low side, just taking the penalty that we saw him pick up earlier. That's why he's dropped down again. It's all change in this midfield battle right now. This is Thrasher pointing the headlights directly in our face, and he's in between Dr. Sparkle in front and Sully behind. Lowry catching Lalo kills here. Lalo on the mediums, and those mediums worse for wear now. So reaching the end of this stint now for Lalo kills. We're trying to get into the pits and stop for his final pit stop, I think. Might be hard tyres and plenty of fuel to a finish shortly. 26.5 minutes to go. Rue leads Arcane, and now Lalo kills only just ahead of Larry. That gap coming down, down, down. I'd love to see some classic GT4 cars race with those ones instead of all these modern or late model cars. The classic ones do look pretty good out there. Kind of a touring car special would be awesome. Larry now just 0.8 of a second away, reeling in Lalo kills. Just the offset between the hard and medium tyres really taking effect here. Larry certainly in a better tyre phase than the Alpha 155. I really grew up on British Touring Car Championship and the Alfa Romeos dominating through the mid-90s. Red liveries, so that's probably where all the feels are coming from for me. Following really nicely, Larry getting that gap down to now half a second, dropping down. As I say, just reeling him in. Advantage of that much lower, more aerodynamic body shape. You can see Lalo really unable to get the turn in he needs. He couldn't really manage to capitalise there for a moment. I think just a little cautious into the corner, turn 1 on that inside line. clearly in the middle of the circuit, he is very much got the better car. Gets tight and twisty. Extra tyre performance at the moment is really working out for him. And the longer and deeper he can go on these hard tyres, more of an option will be available to him later, either a super aggressive medium run or possibly even soft tyres. We shall see. Get right down into corner, and there is, I think, the pit stop coming from Lalo Kills. In he comes, and Larry will take over third position. 4% of fuel remaining on Lalo Kills' car, and that really helps Larry no end. Behind Larry, it's almost the full straight distance before you can see Dr. Sparkle. How are our gaps looking throughout the grid? Dr. Sparkle on his own in fourth now, as Lalo Kills drops down the order. We have Thrasher in P5, 3.3 seconds ahead of Sully. Lolo's still in the pits then, behind them. Lolo on his way out of the pits. Can he get ahead of Saito? It's going to be a challenge to hang on. Medium tyres on Lalo Kill's car and trying to fuel to a finish here. So 23 minutes on the medium tyres. It's going to be somewhat of a challenge towards the end of the stint, I fear. But here is our Saito ahead of Kuroskai in the black and green cars. Different manufacturers, I think. Kuroskai wearing a penalty on the car at the moment. And struggling on those hard tyres, I think. Really starting to wear off Kuroskai. He'll be hoping to get the medium tyres on as soon as possible. Try and finish this race out. Saito still just 44 seconds off the lead in P8, and he's got roughly equidistant cars in front and behind. Solo Kills on the fresh rubber. Saito on very old hard tyres. So Kuroskai hasn't pitted this time out, but his fuel light is now flashing, so presumably that's coming, and he's just lost a second and a half in a single sector to our Saito, so it's certainly time to be very, very careful on the tyre wear for Kuroskai. Our Saito pulling a personal best time out of nowhere there. There's no business going that quickly at this stage in the first sector. Maybe helping with the tow from the car in front, but he's quite distant now, that car. Golden Oracle's in 10th. Billy for his final fuel up in the Sprite car. And number 42, just getting enough fuel in to the finish. He's going to brim it to the absolute max. Don't know if he was just slightly inattentive there. I'm not sure you need full tank. It's going to come out of the pits, right in front of the GTR. He's got to give up that position pretty quickly as well. So who is that? He is right with, it's Golden Oracle. Golden Oracle in P10, about to put a lap on P11, I think. He's certainly been given the blue flag. So Golden Oracle in the Detroit Lions livery. Nice one. We didn't actually get to see that one. A little bit of contact between P10 and P11 potentially, as we're trying to put the lap on. Freshish mediums on the 98. And certainly Billy Bob making a meal of letting Golden Oracle through. Golden Oracle is going to be fuming about that, because he's lost about 2/3 of a lap following the car much slower than him and one place behind. But he'll have to try and forget that now, put that out of his mind and get back underway. And there's another Union Jack on the rear end plate as well for Golden Oracle. So that's what we were supposed to have. Detroit Lions alternate colours. Nice. Okay. Just to let you know, and that was a little problem there for Golden Oracle. Couldn't get the car neatly through turn 1. I wonder if that was that back onto the barrier. I was being distracted by my nation's flag flying. Yeah, it was the apron issue again, and he just lost the car. Ended up getting sideswiped through by accident as much as anything from Billy Bob. Just for those of you listening in, if you are looking for stickers to put on your car, there are some Webo assets out there. Just search WEBBO in GT7 and you'll find some of my stickers, if you so wish. Arcane's in the pits from 2nd place off the hard tyres. So is Larry from 3rd place. Rue is running out there and he's doing a great job at the moment, but Arcane on his way in, Larry on his way in, and Rue will be hoping to maximise this. We have 18.5 minutes to go. Arcane and Larry in for their final stop now. And we're going to go into the pits with the 4C with Thrasher. No sign yet. Chaotic has been quiet on the prospect of a penalty, I think, for choosing the wrong car. It's not helping Thrasher a great deal, is it, against his teammate? They're both in the Alfa Romeo anyway. Hard to tell with the liveries, but Thrasher into 3rd place, 1 second ahead of his teammate who has pitted to finish out this race. So much heavier on fuel is Lalo Kills, and this race really there to just set the tone for this new season to go. Rue leading Arcane. Arcane having pitted, Rue having not pitted. And this is the 155 taking on the 4C into the hairpin. Certainly Thrasher not keen to let his teammate through at this stage. I'm sure just keen to get to the pit lane without incident right now. Sometimes the best way to do that is to release the faster car behind you, and you don't have to look in your mirrors anymore. Let's see what he elects to do here. No turn signal being flashed as a courtesy to his teammate. You've got to say, it's got to be a fuel stop coming for Thrasher. In we go, and Lalo Kills will take on that 3rd position. Arcane in 2nd, and Larry staying into 4th place on fresh tyres as well, to try and see out this final portion of the race, final 2/5 of the race, there or thereabouts. There's a little drift into turn 1 we go on car 77, only a very little one. Still good to see. Rue yet to pit, but 35 seconds in the lead. Here he is into the pit lane. So I wonder to what extent Arcane is going to catch him over the course of this lap on fresh medium tyres with less than a full tank, about 3/4 of a tank of fuel left in the car for the Tennessee Titans driver. Here's Arcane having to lap Larry, Billy Bob at this stage, I think, possibly for the 2nd time. I'm questioning that now, but I think that might be the 2nd lap going on to Billy Bob. Check, is that Billy Bob? Yes, indeed. Okay. And then we can see Rue coming out of the pit lane now, feeding into turn 1, and he's holding on to a 5-second lead just about as they get back into racing speed. Rue 5.1 seconds to the good here, and just needs to manage that gap now to take a fantastic victory, and popular victory, I believe, as well, if he can hold on. Huge lick of flame out of the Sprite car from Billy Bob on the way, as Preston is cheering on Rudy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be a very popular win if Rue can make it work. Arcane, of course, won't be wanting to just let that happen. Certainly be challenging as much as possible. And we have a battle here, Larry versus Lalo Kills, a 1.4 second gap between the two for final podium place. Glover's still awake, still watching with us and cheering on Rue. I wonder if our GT3 drivers are just taking a break now and enjoying the race, or are they back into practice for next week already and watching the race to one side. Let me know if you're second screening the race or your full attention is on it. Unless maybe you've got some other motor racing happening as well live. But Lalo Kills in 3rd. Zen watching, of course. Great. I'm glad everyone's still with me. Chat's been quiet for a few laps, but you've all taken your pit stops. Glavas with a latte and a donut. Nice. Okay, it's rest time. Absolutely. Preston relaxing too. And Zen cheering on the Lambos. They haven't got quite the speed they had in the GT3s perhaps, but we'll go down and have a look. Jim saying winding down from the GT Sport. Tell me about the GT Sport. I want to hear more about this. Is it actually on GT Sport, the unsupported game? But Anatol saying all the GT3 drivers are lazy. Shots fired. And Matthew Glovers, rough drafting next week. Livery building is a good one to do, isn't it? Yeah, definitely a good thing to do with a race on the side, for sure. That would be great. Dr. Sparkle is in 6th place here. Yes, and Preston is interested in the donut. Toasted coconut donut. Wow, that is fancy. Very, very fancy. Here is Dr. Sparkle versus Thrasher. Looking for the outside. Thrasher holding that inside line. And this is over 5th position right now. Got Preston hungry, I think. I can see a toasted coconut latte going down very nicely with a toasted coconut donut going down very nicely with a latte. Thrasher ahead. We've got Sully versus Saito as well. Seahawks 53 getting ahead here, getting the inside line, and then there's Saito in the Lambo for the Team Spotify this season. I like the fact that we've got new title sponsors on the cars. As long as we get all the stickers on all the cars, that will make the world of difference for me. But yeah, it's pretty cool to have title sponsors and different manufacturers. Here comes a look down the inside from the Lamborghini of Saito, and Sully holds on to the inside line. Sully quite liking these big chunky cars now on the GTR. Last season I think was in one of the French manufacturers, perhaps it was, I say it was the Peugeot, was it, for Sully last season, and riding out to the barrier as well. And Sully today driving the safety car in the GT3, so didn't have the same practice time as the others just prior to the race, so he gave up a little bit just to for the sake of the league. And Sully in P7 then, and hanging on now, starting to build the gap here to our Saito. Very similar strategies now. I think for the majority of the grid it's medium tyre time. Thrasher, we've got Dr. Sparkle then. Lowry still hassling Lolo Kills. Medium tyres on both. Lolo Kills getting the rear end out slightly, and he has got a real challenge, Lolo, to get these tyres home. 11 minutes on the tyres. It's going to be very tough. So Lowry fancying a look at the podium. Lowry down to about, I want to say about 35-40% remaining on that front right tyre. So got a lot of work to do, as Larry is very impatient, and there's a couple of kisses there on the car, and here he comes through down the inside on the low line on the main straight, and the Sprite Cayman heading into the lead, into 3rd position, getting ahead of myself there. And Lolo Kills with a little flash. I don't think he quite enjoyed the contact on the previous run through, so a little flash of the lights signalling that he's not ready to give this up, but I think that front right might be the kicker for him. Rue leads still by +5 seconds to Arcane, 15 seconds though those two ahead of Larry. Rue, Arcane, Larry would definitely be a very intriguing first podium for our new season 3.3. A nice tight field as well. But the front two have got a huge gap now, 14 seconds. Bear in mind that we had the safety car period that brought all the cars together on lap 15. It's no mean feat by any stretch to see these drivers still battling hard. Let's have a look then. We've got Sully and Dr. Sparkle still fighting. Sully all out on the outside of the hairpin, and it looks like Dr. Sparkle managing to get the inside line, but Sully holds on again through the next switch back, turn 7 and 8, left-hander. So got that position back again, but these two really battling hard here. Clubhouse liking a bit of Sully on the grid, and that was a good way to pick that place back again. But certainly, I think he kind of gave it up with being out of position into the hairpin. Dr. Sparkle has a look down the inside, can be later on the brakes into the apex, but will lose some momentum as a result. That's a nice clean overtake from the Scuderia Ferrari in the all-black livery. Dr. Sparkle beautifully up ahead there. Now he's on the defensive though, and he got retaken very quickly on the previous lap, so he'll be awake to that. Sully was very strong in the final 3 corners of the circuit. Let's see if it's going to repeat it again this time. 8 minutes to go in our race for the GT3 World Challenge, first race of this new season here at Deviant Racing. Appreciate everybody's comments today, everybody's likes on the video and subscriptions wherever possible. Really building something with a passionate audience. Here comes Sully then on the high line, trying to make this one work. And it's Dr. Sparkle unwilling to give up both the slipstream. If we're going to get some bump drafting going on, potentially, Dr. Sparkle then shaping to the inside. Just a little bit of movement on that straight, but nothing major. For an opportunity, Sully still down the inside. Great battle here between these two as they run through the very long turn 1. Now Sully looking for the wide line into turn 4. See a way through just yet, but yeah, Dr. Sparkle slow away, and it's Sully to the inside as they head towards the hairpin. Now Dr. Sparkle can do exactly what Sully did to him now, take that wide line, get the early power down, but no, Dr. Sparkle that was too early on the power, turns the car round, damages the front splitter and front right wheel or tyre. Hoping that cleans up, but unfortunately that battle, it ran for 3 or 4 laps, but Sully's got it, I think, now in P5. Our Saito, after all that battling, our Saito is catching Sully here. New Nagasaki saying cleaning up the house right now, also, but just got done with GT Sport. Great stuff. Okay, so are you racing on the GT Sport sim? Is that the situation? I didn't realise the servers were still up, or is it more like a cup challenge on GT7 itself? Help me out here. I don't know much about the GT Sport race or series, in fact. And our Saito then in P6, and less than 2 seconds away from Sully, but more importantly for him, Thrasher is within 0.3 of a second of taking that 6th place. Our Saito holding on for now, taking the conventional racing line into the hairpin, despite the fact that Thrasher was right there on the apex. Thrasher having to brake more strongly than I think perhaps he'd like to. So Preston saying they are racing on GT7, GT Sport is just the title. That's very helpful, thanks Preston. It's a slightly misleading title, but I did think that the server's been shut down on GT Sport, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's a casual league, excellent stuff. Okay, fantastic. Can't commit to a league, but can take. It's like a kind of owners club race meet. That's super stuff. Saito, that was a big mistake from him, and this is the turn 1 troubles. That is insult to injury for our Saito as Thrasher comes through. Can't be helped, but certainly that was problematic for him. Dr. Sparkle has got Kuros car. No, he's got a back marker with him, I think, Dr. Sparkle. So it is all kicking off here with 5 minutes to go in the midfield. Fantastic to see. But yeah, Thrasher being given a blue flag. Saito just got thrashed. Nice one. Like it, Preston. Like it. As Thrasher then has got to give up track position here. He's been given the blue flag to the Lamborghini. Is it, or is it the car further behind that? It's Dr. Sparkle having a look at another bit of contact, another rub with the wall. That time, I think. And I think that was one of our leader. We've said this before, Anatole, Thrasher by name, Thrasher by nature. I was, he was rough on his tyres last year in the Ferrari. Today, he's just been rough, I think, out there, as Saito is doing a good job. He's now getting the blue flag treatment. Sully up ahead of Saito, holding on for now, but it's getting uncomfortable for Sully, that gap for 5th place, 1.1 second behind to our Saito. Larry's completely on his own. Rue's lead is 7.6 seconds, and looking more and more comfortable as the minutes tick by. We have just over 3 minutes to go. Fastest lap is with your leader, 1 minute 12.677. I'll try and work out as Rue crosses the line next time if we are on to the penultimate lap. It's Lalo Kills in 4th place, I say, on his own here. Here is Rue coming through the order, through the back markers from his perspective, picking up a bit of pace as well. That is the Lamborghini lapping his teammate. Oof, that's got to hurt for Rue. So it looks like he's about to cross the line now with 2.5 minutes to go. So I think we will have 2 laps remaining for the leader. That is Rue then. This gap has dropped a little bit down to 7.8. Floody's laughing at something. Is that the Thrasher comment from Anatole maybe? As Arcane then out there. Let's see where we've got some close battles. Well, what's happened to Sully? Sully's down in the order. I don't know if we're too late to catch what happened. But Sully, no damage on the car. There he is in 5th. And then something went down. Was it turning into turn 1 perhaps? Or am I just seeing things? Into turn 1 we go. Did we make it out safely enough? I can't see what happened. But Sully is now in 7th. Was 8th. So Sully in 7th place is right on the tail of Thrasher now. So something went down with Sully's car, and I don't know what it was. But Floody's saying we had Rue lapping his teammate on his bingo card. Okay. I wonder if the teammates are chosen. Do you seed the teammates? So you've got one from the top, one from the lower end of the order. I wonder. Or are people free to choose their own teammates? Is it, or do you draft them for fairness? Sully is in 7th, plus 8/10 to Thrasher in front, who only has an 8/10 lead. So we've got a nice battle here building as the seconds tick down. I think Rue is not going to make. I think he might just be able to finish this off on this lap if he decides to slow down and cut the race short by a lap. We're on the 47th lap, so these drivers are only going to do 2 or 3 fewer laps than the GT3 drivers, which is quite some going. I think if he wanted to, Rue could slow here and finish the race out and come to a stop. He's coming up to the start-finish line. He will make it a final lap then, and the 48th lap for Rue. Arcane will cross the line, but very soon we're going to tick over to the finish. So Arcane will finish in 2nd place. I think he may have deliberately slowed there slightly to make sure he finished. So Arcane secure in 2nd. This looks like a great result for Larry as well to get a podium. So it'll be Rue and Arcane and Larry Great work. And then the popular Lalo Kills in the 155 will hopefully safely bring this one home to a finish into 4th position. And that final phase of the race really ticked by very quickly. It's Preston cheering on Rudy and his victory lap here. Sort of glory lap, as it were, for him. Lalo Kills will take home 4th place. Got a little wait to go. I wonder if we're actually going to miss Rue. Here comes Rue then. He's gone round, and Rue is going to cross the line here to finish and to win the first race of this season, and the first time they've raced at Blue Moon Bay. Rue brings the Lamborghini home for a great victory. R. Saito ahead of Thrasher, ahead of Sully, who had hoped for more, I think, just a few laps ago. Dr. Sparkle, the last car to take home the checkered flag, but it is all about Rue today, and a great finish to the race for Rue. Really good performance from him, and there it is. Someone saying, did he do good? It's a Spotify team. At least he's got his overalls correct on my screen here. But victory, pole position for Rue, and I think fastest lap. Yeah, confirmed. So an absolute clean sweep from Rue to take home the 1 hour and 1 minute race with an 8-second on top of that. Great race for Rue. Arcane showing very well as well for the 458 Italia. Then Larry in P3 in the Cayman, followed by Lalo Kills in 4th, Saito in 5th, Thrasher, Sully and Dr. Sparkle, with Kuroskai, Golden Oracle and Billy Bob finishing out the race. Sadly, we lost TX Speedstars, who could well have featured on the podium come the end of the race had it not been for the mechanical. Thanks to Chaotica for driving our safety car today and administrating the lobby. Thanks to everybody for watching. It's been really good to have you all here. This is Webbo. This is Deviant Racing League. More racing coming later this evening in a couple of hours' time. So do subscribe if you want some more live racing action. This time we'll be doing Formula 1 later on. But here from Deviant Racing's GT4 World Challenge, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you on the next race day.